Hello everyone, my name is Caitlin, and I run the Intensive Outpatient Program for Substance Abuse at Our Lady of Bellefonte Hospital, and I am here today to talk to you a little bit about a drug-free workplace. Of the 20.4 million adults classified with substance dependence or abuse, 12.3 million, or 60.4%, were employed full-time. It is out of this 60.4% that those working in the mining and construction industries suffer the most from substance abuse. Though every field has issues with substance abuse, those working in the construction and mining fields, such as yourself, are at a much higher risk. Now we will begin to talk a little bit more about what addiction is. Now this is a very complicated disorder, so we have tried to keep it short and simple for you today. Addiction is a disease of the brain that impacts us emotionally, spiritually, and physically. It is classified medically by two different criteria. The first is tolerance, the need to ingest more of the substance for the same high. The second criteria is withdrawal. When ingesting stops, those suffering from addiction can become very ill, both psychologically and physically. Unfortunately, addiction has been misunderstood for decades. This has led to many more unnecessary drug-related deaths. Anyone can suffer from addiction, and it is a misnomer that those suffering from addiction are homeless, weak, or in lower-paying jobs. There is a genetic predisposition to addiction. If your parents struggled with addiction, you are actually 8 times more likely to suffer from it in adulthood. Addiction is neither racist nor sexist. One of the most popular questions I am asked today is why? Why do people abuse drugs and alcohol? And this is a very good question. There are many reasons why people feel pressured to abuse drugs and alcohol. First, mental health issues, and these include but are not limited to depression, anxiety, and even post-traumatic stress disorder, which we see a lot with our veterans. Second, social pressure. Those we surround ourselves with may be normalizing the abuse of the drug or alcohol. Familial issues. Problems at home can result in the need to escape or find external coping measures. And finally, financial issues. This is an enormous trigger. Alcohol and drugs give us a way to feel we have control, even when we do not. In looking at the most popular drugs of use today, it is important to look at where these addictions are taking place. The map to the right shows the number of drug-related deaths in each state. And as you can see, the area we live in, right here, leads the nation in drug and alcohol abuse today. The plus side to this epidemic is the amount of new support and community resources that are now available to employees as well as employers. In Central Appalachia, the most popular drugs being abused today include alcohol, nicotine, marijuana, opiates, which include pain relievers and heroin, benzodiazepine, which can include Xanax, Klonopin, Ativan, and finally methamphetamine. And again, the map to the left here, of course, is the state of Ohio, and the darker the county, the higher the use. As you can see, our area has the darkest color to it. There are over 150 new synthetic drugs introduced to the market annually. Synthetic drugs seem to become more fatal each year. There have been more heroin overdoses in 2016 in our area than 2014 and 2015 combined. Many batches coming out of Cincinnati and the Akron area, as well as Detroit, have been cut with elements such as fentanyl, which is 500 times more potent than heroin. Some of it's even being cut with elephant tranquilizer, which obviously is not meant for human consumption. Flakka, this is another synthetic drug. This is the cousin of bath salts. Though bath salts have been banned, the active ingredient alpha PVP has not. Now, we'd like to inform you that the next image is rather disturbing, and we apologize. The image that you see to the left here is the consequence of crocodile use. Crocodile is a combination of opiates and other chemicals such as iodine and paint thinner. This drug originates in Eastern Europe and is now very close to home. There are many forms of drug paraphernalia out today. Those abusing drugs are very resourceful and can change how they ingest substances very quickly. Here we have included the most popular forms of paraphernalia seen and reported today. Paraphernalia can include pipes or pinch hitters, empty bottles of alcohol, tutors, which can come in the form of cut-off straws, broken pens, uncapped needles, spoons or foil with burn marks at the bottom, saline solution, Nasonex, blunt wrappers, and empty cellophane wrappers with pill residue on them. There are hundreds of symptoms to look for when discussing substance abuse and withdrawal. We have chosen to present the more obvious signs to you today. Symptoms of intoxication can include slurred or stuttered speech, eyes dilated or constricted as shown to the left, the smell of alcohol or marijuana, pill residue in the nostrils, obvious memory loss, inappropriate sweating, indications of IV use or track marks, and these IV use track marks can be found on the arms, neck, hands, in between toes and fingers, and even in the gums or the eye ducts. Being in a state of withdrawal is just as dangerous on the job as being intoxicated. Some of the physical symptoms of withdrawal include flu-like symptoms, inappropriate sweating, cold chills, constant yawning or scratching, dark bags under the eyes, pain in bones, having a tough time getting around, diarrhea, vomiting, and withdrawing from certain chemicals such as benzodiazepine or alcohol can be fatal. You may think it is impossible to notice psychological signs of alcohol and drug abuse, but it can result in a complete change of your coworker's personality. Some of these signs can be anxiety, irritability, depressive symptoms, memory loss, poor concentration, insomnia, and social isolation. There are multiple resources in your community and surrounding areas that help treat substance abuse and dependence. Please refer to your employer if you are worried about a loved one or a coworker. If you or one of your coworkers is struggling with issues we have discussed today, please encourage them to get the help they need. The longer an employee is using drugs or alcohol on the job, the more likely they or a coworker will get injured. We all want to go home at the end of our shift. If encouragement to reach out for help does not seem to work, the second option is to reach out, as we said before, to your employer. The presentation given to your employers emphasizes them to treat the problem and not police it. Please keep in mind, reporting substance abuse and dependence can save your coworkers' lives. At the end of the day, please take these 3 lessons away. Observe the signs of intoxication or withdrawal. A. Act. Reach out for help from community and or employers. And T. Trust in the fact that you have done the right thing by yourself and your coworkers. That ends our drug-free workplace presentation today. Thank you so much for listening with us.